the
I'm
last
really
thing that
good
we're
at
gonna
that.
do
I'm really good
on
at that.
the last thing we're gonna do on the football side is we're gonna do some a preview and predictions of the college football playoffs. So we have uh, Washington playing Texas and Michigan playing Alabama. I want to hear your thoughts. You watch a little bit more college football than I do. I really get into the nitty gritty of it all once the draft comes around. I really only pay attention to the players, not the teams.
I do really enjoy when we start getting together, and it's going to be fun this year doing it on the pod. But I do really enjoy when you like text me or message me about a player, and you're like, "Dude, this guy's a stud." I'm like, "Yeah, bro. I was watching him 13 weeks ago." Like the best thing about college football, and when you start watching it and following it like I have, especially through an NFL draft view, is you see the NFL talent on the field,
Yeah.
especially when you're watching something else. You know, we've talked about Jalen Carter and watching a certain player, and then you're like, who the heck is that? Same thing with
Mm-hmm.
like Brock Bowers this year. I forget who I was watching last year, but it's just like these teams just. Anyways, I don't want to hijack it talking about the draft, but um, as far as the matchups go, I mean, what do I want? What do I think? I mean, I want Harbaugh
Both.
to win. I want
Yeah.
Michigan to win. I'm not a Michigan fan for any other reason except for Harbaugh, and
Mm-hmm.
I like to see something different. I don't want to see Alabama win again, but if Alabama can go in there and upset them, that's big time for college football. And Saban's still a stud, and he's struggling. He's going to struggle going forward because of the NIL money and not being able to recruit the way he used to. And then as far as the second matchup goes, is I don't that's going to be a hell of a ball game, man. That's the one I'm more excited about. I'm more excited about that game that week than some of like the upcoming NFL playoff games because
Mm-hmm.
for college football, for Texas to be a legit threat, that's massive for them, and that's what we want. We want more legit threats. We don't want to know every year Alabama's going to win. Let's just skip the season. So for them to
Yeah.
establish themselves, get some recruiting in there, and there's a couple of teams that are looking really strong for next year. We want Texas to win. I I don't know if they're going to. And for the sanctity of having a really good college football championship, I think not having Texas win is what's best in terms of who might potentially be able to beat Michigan. I don't see Texas beating Michigan. And they already beat Bama. So,
Yeah.
um, you know, I mean, is there anything about the college football playoff? I mean, I know you don't follow it as strongly during the season, but is there anything about those teams that like speaks out to you in terms of like does Alabama making it to the college football championship like think to yourself, I mean, the game's on like I forget when the game's on, but it's like on, after the first week of January. Do you say to yourself, man, I'm really going to watch Alabama versus Washington, or I'm really going to watch Michigan, Texas? Like if you could book it, which way would you go?
What I would want to watch the most is let me ask who's starting for Texas right now?
Um, the kid that's coming out, Quinn,
Okay, so
or he
Quinn
may
is
not be
okay.
coming out. I think he's going to come out, but because what are you going to do with Arch if he doesn't come out?
Okay. Just watching, I think, quarterback play. I think I want to watch. I think Texas and Washington's more appealing to me, just watching the quarterback play in general,
Sure.
obviously. And then kind of furthering that a little bit more because you want to obviously get as much as possible, especially with the lights and the show. Washington winning is probably going to be the better option because you get a little bit more. And then Michigan over Alabama. I mean, who do I want to watch Alabama? Bama. I mean, outside of maybe Kool-Aid. I mean, that's the only dude I might want to watch. I mean, outside of that, I don't really care about Bama. Like, there's not anything super duper intriguing. I know maybe I'll find someone down the line once we get into the nitty gritty of it. So in terms of the quarterback play, Washington getting into the championship with Michigan is probably the best. But I always going to think that something interesting like Texas winning or Alabama winning, just because they're the underdogs in this situation, would be kind of cool too. But actually watching uh, Michigan and Washington would be more appealing.
Yeah, they got Alabama's got an edge rusher that's probably a top 10 or 15 pick. Uh, I forget his first name. His first name's Gross. I think it's Dallas. But anyway, it's Saban versus Harbaugh. That's super exciting, but it's also two. I'd have to go back and look at the rankings. I don't know if Quinn Ewers is still a first-round pick, but he's definitely a top 60 pick versus, a top 15, 20 pick. That's going to be very exciting. But also it's kind of fun to watch Blake Corum run the football all over the place, the running back for Michigan. He's got like 167,000 touchdowns in his college football career. So I don't know. I mean, Alabama been the big bad boy on the block for a while, and Harbaugh's been the cartoon character in the corner crying for his mom, always upset about everything. So to finally see Harbaugh get his due and knock off Saban, that's compelling. And then the two quarterback matchups is, super awesome, especially if Manning's as good as they think he is. Texas is going to be a mainstay around these conversations for the next couple of years. So it's definitely exciting going forward. And we're in the very exciting, like, college football, NFL is everything's ramping up. The NBA really starts getting going after the 25th, after Christmas. The Christmas games kind of kick everything off, and season tournament aside. I know you loved it. So we're coming up on Christmas. We're coming up on New Year's. We're coming up on really good football. We're coming up on 49ers sending the Cowboys home again. It's just a lot of exciting things are coming our way.
Yeah, definitely. And speaking about the NBA too, that's the end for our football segment. I think we kept it a little bit shorter than we usually do, just because holiday season and whatnot coming up. I think we'll probably keep it a little bit shorter next week too.
Just an hour and 42 minutes of solid NFL content for you guys. You're welcome.
Solid, and it was fun this time. We didn't go into a bunch of nitty gritty stuff. The contenders versus pretenders, and the cut and extend was pretty fun. But now moving on to
I will tell you, if we want to take it to the next level, we should have a comment. We should have a segment here about Colin Kaepernick, because everybody on TikTok loves to argue about Colin Kaepernick. And it's funny because I'm a 49er fan. I should be defending the guy, but I'm not here to defend Colin Kaepernick. So if you guys are out there, if you guys are Cap lovers, hey, send us a like, post a comment, repost the YouTube video, watch the podcast, share it with your friends, because Colin Kaepernick, we're not believers. So there's some takes for you.